really quick, let's play a word association game. I'm going to say a word, and without cheating, the first word that comes to your mind, write it down, type it in the comments, say it out loud, however you decide to do it. You ready? Okay. Pleasure. Intimacy. Sensuality. Now, many of you might have said words like sex, or marriage, or relationship, or lingerie, or romance. And none of those words or anything similar to them would have been wrong. Because in the dictionary, when you look up the word sensuality, it almost always relates it to sex and sexuality. But what if I told you that sensuality was not inherently about sex? That sensuality can be a tool used in your everyday life outside of the bedroom. My name is LuzCelenia, and I am the founder of Radiant, where I help women to be empowered and to heal through the art of sensuality and using sensuality as a spiritual practice to connect to themselves and to God. 5 years ago, I found myself in one of the lowest places I had ever been in my life. I was about 100 pounds overweight, depressed, in an abusive relationship, getting laid off from my job, and really didn't have any direction for myself or my future. I was stuck. So although I was raised in a Christian household and I did all the things that I was taught to do, none of it seemed to be working in the way that I thought it should work or had worked in the past. So I decided I was going to go to therapy. It was the one thing that I had never tried. And what did I have to lose? Nothing else was working for me. I was completely lost. Now I went thinking, oh, we're going to work on my relationship and I'm going to figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life and what's my next career move. And where I started was actually looking at my belief and value system. And that took me to a place where I started to investigate the things that I learned in church about my body, about myself as a woman. Unfortunately, a lot of what is taught in church isn't really God, and really it's not Jesus either. But it has been religious rhetoric that we have taken on as truth. Things like women being responsible for not tempting men because those are our brothers, and absolving men of their responsibility and accountability. Things like when you're not supposed to have sex until marriage, and if you do, then you are now defiled. Inherently, your worthiness has now been tarnished because you had sex. And church isn't the only problem, because we get those same kinds of messages outside of church, on TV, in movies, on magazines, where a certain kind of woman, we're supposed to look a certain way, but don't be too sexual. We're supposed to be able to please our partners, but don't have sex with too many people. You're supposed to know how to dress and be stylish, but don't show too much of your body because they're going to judge you and label you. I don't even have to say them. You already know what those labels are. As women, we are given impossible requirements. Impossible because many of them, if not most of them, contradict each other. So, what did I do? Well, when I started to realize that those beliefs and those value systems were not serving me, they put me in bondage, a bondage called shame. Shame causes us to hide. It disconnects us from ourselves. So what I had to do was I had to redefine. I had to choose different values. And so when I was introduced to the art of sensuality, I started looking for definitions. I needed to know, well, if this is something that I'm going to adopt, what does it really mean? And I couldn't find anything in the major dictionaries that really sufficed. So I created one that worked for me. Feel free to take it. Just credit me. Sensuality is the ability to discover what brings you pleasure in the present moment by utilizing one or all of the five senses: sight, touch, scent, taste, and sound. You see, even in just that definition, it can help to change your mindset on sensuality. That you're like, oh, so all of those things that they talk about that relate to sex can now be used in our everyday experiences. But it means that you have to slow down long enough to be able to experience those feelings, those sensations. And I know that's hard, or it can be, or it feels hard because we're all so busy. You guys are beautiful, educated, successful, trailblazing, history-making women. And we often say, there's not enough time in the day. I wish I could clone myself. I could do more. I could do more. I could do all these things. Breathe. We live in a capitalistic society that values the hustle and the grind and accomplishments. Every year we're told we're supposed to set new goals and New Year's resolutions that are generally driven by money. Now, again, money isn't bad. Money is great. We need money. But, what do they say? Oh, no one lies on their deathbed and said, oh, I wish I worked more. So how do we make sure that as we're doing all these amazing things and hitting these goal marks and leaving generational wealth to our kids and their kids and their kids, how do we make sure that we also have a fulfilling life that is oozing with pleasure? I'm going to give you 3 keys for maximizing your sensuality that can help you with that. Number 1, practice focusing on the sensations in your body. We were given this body for a reason, and emotions are the sensations that we feel. It's energy in motion. So let's do a really quick exercise. Something that you can do at any time when you choose. Ready? If it's safe to do so, and you're not driving or doing anything that would cause you harm, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath in through your nostrils and exhale through your mouth. Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to think about a memory, a moment, a time in your life where you were so extremely happy. Now that you have that memory in your mind, that moment, don't add any value to it. Don't narrate it. Don't judge it. I want you to locate where you feel that happiness in your body. Scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Where do you feel the happiness? Maybe it's one place. Maybe it's more than one. Maybe your skin is tingling. Doesn't matter. It's your body, your life. For me, right now, I feel it in my heart. Now that we know that, when you're going through your life every day with your families, your friends, accomplishing all these amazing things, when you feel that sensation in that moment, whatever you're doing, you now have something to inform you to say, hey, we like this. Let's do more of this. This brings me happiness. I want more of that. Number 2, let yourself feel those emotions. So we located it, we acknowledged it, we know where it is, and now we're going to feel. Now, one of those things that you do when you feel is I want you to label it. Now, I called out the emotion by bringing a memory of happiness, but in those moments, you may not know exactly what that is. And if you don't, it's okay. Take a moment and check in. A really good resource that you can keep on your phone or just Google really quickly is a feelings wheel. It literally has all kinds of emotions labeled on there. If you don't have, if maybe the word that's coming to you doesn't really feel like it encapsulates that emotion properly, then you can use that feelings wheel to say, oh, this isn't just anger, this is resentment. I'm not just happy, I'm joyful. To be as specific as you can. Now, when you're doing this practice, I want you to give attention not just to the emotions that make us feel good, but the ones that normally we would judge as bad and generally we push to the side because we don't want to feel those. And I know you're like, but this is sensuality. I thought it was about pleasure. Absolutely. But those things over here, the bad ones, the ones that we want far away from us, they are lessons. They are trying to get our attention to teach us something. So as much as I want you to investigate the good ones and see how you can invite more of that into your life, I want you to sit with the ones that we would deem as negative and learn and ask, what do I need in this moment? What is my anger telling me? Where might I need to set a boundary? Or I'm experiencing resentment. Why am I resentful? Am I not communicating my needs properly? Are my needs not being met? Because then you can take those lessons into future experiences so that you can again invite the beautiful emotions, the pleasure that we want in our lives. Really quick story. I left my relationship. Therapy was very critical in that, and escaped. And afterwards, I promised God that my testimony wouldn't be just for me. And so I started sharing with other people about how I escaped, and the steps that I took in order to escape, and what I was doing to heal from that trauma. And oftentimes I would tell them all the things that were happening to me during that relationship, the physical, verbal, emotional, financial, sexual abuse that I endured. And when I would stop and I'd look at their faces, they'd be horrified. And they'd be like, "Are you okay?" And for a while, I would be like, "Huh?" I was so confused until I joined a trauma support group last year, and we were discussing the difference between transparency and vulnerability. See, transparency is us talking about our experiences and what we thought about it, what happened. We're talking about the facts. Vulnerability is talking about our emotions. And I couldn't be vulnerable with them about what I went through because I wasn't being vulnerable with myself. So, in order to get to the next step in my healing process, I couldn't just address and acknowledge those pains and those traumas. I had to feel them in order to go through it. Because I was too busy trying to get over by understanding, and I couldn't get over. I had to go through. Number 3, give yourself permission to receive more pleasure. This is very, very key. If you don't get anything else, especially us as women, we have to give ourselves the permission, because society is not. We know what women are called, and when they are perceived to have ownership of their pleasure, do it anyway. You are worthy of pleasure, of love, of joy. You are worthy just the way you are. The moment that even you were created as just a thought, you inherited the birthright of worthiness. And nothing you go through, no experience, no mistake, and no person can take that from you. So I invite you to live a sensual life, not just rushing to the end, but enjoying the moments that get us there. I want to thank JJ Conway and the Women Building Wealth team for having me. Thank you for being here and listening. I hope that this fed your soul and your spirit. If you enjoyed what I shared today, I have 2 special gifts for each and every one of you. Visit the link on the screen. It's www.LuzCelenia.com/WBW22, or you can scan the QR code with your phone, and that'll take you to my website for you to fill out a form. And once I receive your information, I'll be sending you a link so you can download one or both of the freebies that I have for you. There's a guided meditation on there to do some inner child healing, and a worksheet on how you can create a sensual daily practice. Thank you, and have a blessed day.